Hey, all. It's hard to talk about H.P. Lovecraft these days without all the bigot baggage that he carried in his life, being very much a man of his time, um, while still valuing the cosmic horror that he was intimately associated with. From my own perspective, I read Lovecraft when I was young, perhaps too young, I don't know. And the larger implications of some of his preoccupations, let's just put it that way, were perhaps lost on me when I was a kid, but later I was like, ooh, wait a minute. But despite that, I think it's possible to pull into his cosmic horror narrative without the attendant bigot baggage that I just mentioned earlier. And because there's something interesting with cosmic horror, I find cosmic horror to be an intriguing genre because it has the it decenters humanity in the universe, and so much. And as a secular humanist, I I look at things from a very human perspective, and I think a lot of people do just to get through their day to day. They think, oh, it's all part of some master plan. It's all going to be, it's all going to be good. But when you realize, with even the lightest understanding of astronomy, the little pale blue dot that we represent, as Carl Sagan put it, we're so tiny in this massive, massive universe, this massive, on the face of things, uncaring universe. That's a very horrifying concept for people. The idea that a rogue planet could roll through our solar system, and there are lots of rogue planets out there, and we wouldn't be able to do anything. We wouldn't have a prayer, one might say. And that aspect of cosmic horror is where that terror comes from. This idea of a malevolent universe that, or even in a different universe, it's scary stuff. And I played with what I call Neo-Lovecraftian stories. One of my novels is Chosen. You can see there, which was definitely my nod to that kind of cosmic horror universe. It's my purest horror novel. I always refer it to as that because it is. A lot of my other novels are kind of wryly horrific or sarcastically, or even some could see it as parodies, I suppose. That one, it's absolutely a horror, and it's absolutely cosmic horror. It's set in a little town in Pennsylvania called Ludlow, which is based on loosely based on Sewickley, PA. So if you've ever been to Sewickley and you kind of look around and you can squint your eyes, you can see Ludlow, the town of Ludlow, in there. And that was by design, I think. I base a lot of stories in the Rust Belt. Grew up in the Rust Belt, so I'm intimately familiar with that. A lot of stories in that region, because there's a lot there. There's a vibe there. You got bits and bobs of the Appalachian Mountains, and you've got a lot of this a lot of secrets and things. And with Chosen, I certainly did run with a Lovecraftian concept, but modernized, I think, for modern, or postmodern audiences. And there are a lot of things a lot of depths one can plumb with cosmic horror. I've done it several times. I did it in a science fiction story called Farther. Absolutely, which is a science fiction story, 100%, but it's also a cosmic horror story. I did it with the collection called The Thing in Yellow, which is what I can talk about more later, but that's rooted in the obviously King in Yellow homage. It's that sense of weird fiction and otherness and cosmic horror. Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity there for writers if you're willing to kind of go into those places. But it's a haunting place to be. We work on a story in that it's creepy. You get that you can, the coldness of the cosmic horror universe is ever present. So I'll talk probably more about it because there's a lot to go into, but that's just for starters, this little bit.